Hey KU fans, welcome back to KU Sports Extra here at the Lloyd Noble Center in Norman, Oklahoma. Forever known as the night, the place, the area, the arena where the streak went to die.
That rolls right off the tongue.
Doesn't it? Put it on a t-shirt?
Yeah, it's gonna be on the front of a book sometime.
The night, the place, the arena, the place where the streak went to die. Yeah, there's some debate about what it could be called on a t-shirt. But there's no debating.
Who would make the t-shirt, or who would buy them? I guess maybe Texas Tech and Kansas State fans.
Why not the whole Big 12?
That's
These people
true.
were chanting,
Yeah.
the streak is
The streak
over.
is over. Yeah.
Oklahoma has had a decent year, but some struggles, and this was something to celebrate for them tonight.
Yeah,
They're
for
not
sure.
cutting down any nets, but this was something that the entire conference has been trying to do for a long, long time. And yes, it's K-State or Texas Tech that's going to get the official title of Big 12 champion this year, maybe both of them. But Oklahoma's always going to remember that they were the team that put that final nail in the coffin. 81-68, the Sooners really, that's not even close to how much of a beatdown this was. 13 points, that doesn't do it for me. I think this was a 20-25 point game.
I mean, it was throughout. I mean, I think the game closed with a 13-2 KU run, but I mean, that's garbage time.
For sure.
The game was over. Oklahoma decimated them. I was shocked when we looked up at the scoreboard at halftime and it was only 13 points.
Right.
Because Oklahoma had played so well and KU just had not found any way to counter what OU was doing, to stop them on defense or to match their energy on offense. And it felt like a 20-point game at halftime.
Yeah, at least.
And that's the way it felt most of the night. It was two teams playing on completely different levels.
I thought this was interesting afterwards. Both Dedrick Lawson and David McCormick, who matched for the team high with 18 points, they both said the basket looked small for us. We couldn't get anything to go, couldn't get anything going, and it looked huge for our opponent. And Dedrick Lawson kind of hinted that that's been the recipe for a lot of their road games. It's just can't find a bucket, and it looks so big to the opponents. It kind of sounds like sour grapes, a little bit of an excuse or whatever, but I don't think he's wrong. I mean, you think back to that Texas Tech game in Lubbock, these teams are playing well when they play this way, but Texas Tech threw everything up and it went in. Tonight, same thing for Oklahoma. They start out absolutely on fire. Bill Self said afterwards, when it gets going like that, we just don't really have a way to somewhere to go where we can get it stopped. And that's been the case all year on the road. This team's really struggled. This was a tough night. They were in the locker room for 25-30 minutes after this game before they came to talk to us. You know, they came in with their heads held high and obviously talked all the right things. Baylor on Saturday, Kansas City for the Big 12 tournament after that, still to have a chance to get things going and do something special. But they took this one hard regardless of what they're saying. It was very obvious that was the case. Streaks have to end, right? I mean, this one wasn't going to last forever. I don't think anybody thought it was going to be this year. But then when those things started happening, and these aren't excuses, they're realities.
Right.
You lose Udoka, Vic's out of here, Silvio can't play, Marcus Garrett's out for a little while. You know, those things, that's when I think people started to realize, yeah, this might not be the year, and it could be over this year. What now? I mean, where do they go? What can they do? They have one regular season game left. It may mean something that, you know, right now they're penciled in as the 3rd seed in the Big 12 tournament. They may have to play and win to get that 3rd seed. Otherwise, they could fall to 4th, maybe even 5th. That'd be different for a team that's so used to being the 1 seed over there. That'd be different. But the bottom line, I think, is the rest of the way it's going to be different. They have not been in this position for a number of years. So what now?
I think that they did as good a job as you possibly could of trying to move past this immediately. I don't know if they'll actually be able to move past this as quickly as they're hoping. Saturday's maybe enough separation. You know, you're back at the field house for the last time this season. It's been, 4 days by then.
Right.
But I think this is going to take some time for them to get over because, I mean, it was not only devastating because of it eliminated them from contention for the Big 12 title, but it's disappointing. We're a week into March. Yeah. And this is a type of...
That's the bigger issue to me.
Yeah. Right. And this is a type of performance you have against an Oklahoma team that's pretty good, but, you know, not like an automatic NCAA berth or anything like that. I mean, a local reporter asked himself afterwards if he thought OU was a tournament team. I mean, so that tells you a little bit about
What'd
the
he
season
say?
they've had. I don't think I can say.
He basically
do you
said,
have the bleep button?
Yeah,
right?
they're a tournament team, and he said, and if they're not, shite. I think that was the British version of the word. But right, I mean, I think they are. This probably did a lot of good for them in solidifying it. But yeah, I mean, I asked the same thing. Like, you got one game left before it's do or die time. Is that enough time to still get this thing positioned to where you want it to be? I think if they're being honest, the answer is no. It's not, because they've been fighting that fight all year, and you're running out of time all of a sudden. Now, what you have to say, if you're not being honest, what you have to say is yes, there's plenty of time left. We can get some confidence. We can have a good week of practice. We can beat Baylor. We can go over to Kansas City, make some noise. We can feel good about that. I mean, so those things are true. There is time to find time, right? but this is a team that's been trying to piece this thing together all year, and we're now down to the final game of the regular season, and they still haven't quite done it. They're still looking for who they are, how to play together, and how to figure these things out when they're not at Allen Fieldhouse. And there's only one game left at Allen Fieldhouse, so it's going to be really interesting starting next week to see what this team's about and what they can do. But that's, I don't know, I mean, maybe not for the fans, but I think it's going to be fun. And Self talked a little bit about that. He said, hey, Kansas was a 6th seed once upon a time and won the national championship. That was Danny and the Miracles. Everybody knows that. This isn't that team. But it is a reminder that all you got to do is play well at the right time on any given night and survive and advance. This team has always been about expectations and being the 1 seed and the favorite to get to the Final Four, and anything before that is a failure and all that stuff. Maybe this will be fun for them. I know it'll be fun to cover, because who knows what's going to happen. They could make a run that nobody expects, or they could go out in the first weekend real easily. So I don't know. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I guess if you're looking for a silver lining, there are no more road games.
Right.
I mean, that's been the issue. Obviously, they won those neutral site games with one Udoka as a Buki.
Right, those don't count. Yeah. I mean, they're big for their resume and all that, but you can't say this team's that. I don't like that.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I don't know. It's at this point of the season, if you're playing in Sprint Center, we'll start with the Big 12 tournament. That's not really a neutral site, really.
Right.
It's a KU friendly site.
Should be.
So I mean, maybe that'll help their confidence, and kind of get the ball rolling in the right direction heading into the NCAA tournament. But I mean, they're going to need some good things to happen, I think, in Kansas City for the season to come even close to the kind of expectations they had coming into it.
Yeah, the bottom line, they got nothing to lose now. I don't know if the pressure's off. I've seen that as a popular take on Twitter and whatnot. Hey, maybe they can play free now. The streak's not hanging over their heads. The race is over, all that. Maybe. They didn't seem to think that. I asked Diedrich about it, and he said, not for me. My motivation is to win every game, and I hate losing. So whatever they've got, they got to figure it out quickly. And I think one of the things that could benefit this team is they are forever known as the team that will have ended the streak. Now you got to prove something, right? You got to prove that you're better than that. And to Self's credit, he said he doesn't necessarily think that's fair, that these guys may be remembered as that, which is cool, and that's what a head coach should say. But they will be. History will paint them as that forever. The only way they can really do anything about that now is by doing something in the next few weeks, something that people will remember instead of that, right? Maybe a run to the Elite Eight. Everybody goes, wow, that team really finished strong. Wow, what a run, And that changes how they're remembered, changes the narrative. Who knows? I mean, I don't know if they have that in them. I don't know if they know they have that in them, but that's got to be their focus, and they got to kind of attack the next couple of weeks with, we've got something to prove, and I'm sure they will. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame coach for a reason, and he said it tonight. There is talent here. It just has not been consistent enough. Same issue tonight on the road. Inconsistent play. Tough sledding for this team on the road this year. KU falls to 22-8 and 11-6 in the Big 12. It is officially over. 14 years of Big 12 dominance. Somebody else will hoist that trophy. We won't see all those out at Allen Fieldhouse lined up baseline to baseline, at least not this year. It's going to be different. It's going to be fun. Nobody knows what to do from here, so we'll see if Kansas does. We'll keep doing what we do. For Benton Smith, I'm Matt Tate. KU loses 81-68 at Lloyd Noble Center here in Norman, Oklahoma. 1 game left in the regular season. That's Saturday at Allen Fieldhouse against Baylor. We'll see you guys there. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra.